pretty nice. I like
They
them.
are nice. Adobe has nice stuff. Nice stuff. We're going to start. We are going to start. My name's Karen
Let's do
Goebel.
it.
We are from Digital Learning. I'm program coordinator. We go all over the district helping teachers with technology. And we have, I'm going to introduce yourselves.
Sure. I'm Kaylee Wiemeyer, another program coordinator.
And I'm the third program coordinator, Emily Nordhausen.
All right. So while y'all are getting in that, we want to thank y'all for coming. And while I'm going to go ahead and start, if in the chat, I don't think we've mentioned this yet, but go ahead and put where you're from and what grade level you teach, so we kind of know who our audience is. We always like to look and see, are they high school teachers, middle school, or intermediate, or whatever we call it these days. Or elementary. And I'm going to go ahead and start. So tonight's session is on new year, new goals. You know, every year, I know when I taught first grade, we always came back and talked about our resolutions and things we were going to do and change and do better in and stuff. So we're going to talk about goal setting and how you can use that in your classroom to motivate your students. And so in our first folder, I'm going to go on into that, on why would we even care about this, okay? Hopefully y'all can see all of that. And that's why we like y'all being in the course, because sometimes it's hard to see on the teams. So that way you can kind of follow along. But here's some things we came up with that are reasons why would we want to goal set with our students. Well, one, you know, we want to motivate. Our kids do not come in with, oh my goodness, I can't wait to learn about algebra. I know I wasn't me. So, you know, by setting goals, it's one way to help motivate them, but to give them more ownership of their learning, and hopefully will motivate them to want to be and to do those projects and to participate in the classroom, because we would like it if everyone came in ready to go. I can't wait to learn. So it's just a way to help empower those students. And a lot of times research shows us that when you write down your goals, you're more likely to achieve those goals when you set steps towards achieving that. So getting them to take ownership of this, writing down what they're going to do. And we're going to help you with all this. We've got lots of little templates and things that you can use with your students to help them with this. Students that are more focused and engaged when they are taking ownership of their learning. And by setting goals, it also helps them see that to achieve something difficult, you know, you need persistence, and sometimes it's baby steps. You know, you've got to start here to get to here, and that sort of thing. So it helps them to prioritize and to see that persistence and thinking things through will help them. Helps them to stay organized and on task. And then, as we know, Klein is a personalized learning district, and it's just another way to help personalize the learning in the classroom, because students are focusing on what they're wanting to learn and they're taking ownership in that. All right. In this next slide, thinking about some strategies for this goal setting. And as I said earlier, we're going to help you with a lot of this in just a little bit, but provide. So when you want to do goals, this is not something that a lot of students are used to doing. They've sometimes you may have students in your classroom that have never even set a goal. So as you start on this in your classroom, you do want to provide the kids with a clear strategy for thinking about and recording their goals. And that's why we're going to look at some templates that you can use to help your students organize this. Another thing is, they don't know how to do this. So you really need to model this. So it's best if you model something like a personal goal. And so we don't want to say, I'm going to exercise more this year. A better goal might be, in 6 months, I want to have walked 50 miles. Okay. So I've set a goal. I've set something that's attainable. I can kind of measure it and those sorts of things. So, but by you modeling that out and how you would write that goal first before you have the students do it is going to help them a lot. Provide time in class for students to revisit this and look at their goal. Maybe they need to revise that goal. Maybe it wasn't a realistic goal that they had set. And so maybe halfway through they've got to rethink it and change it or tweak it just a little bit. And then setting aside time. And I know we had a discussion about this earlier today. We're not talking about you have to conference with all your kids every day. But maybe in your time when you have small group, it might be a good time to also towards the end of that small group with that group of students, have them pull that goal out, reflect just for a minute or two, conference with them real quick about where they are with that goal. Because we want them to know that we're going to look back at this. It's not something we're just going to write and we're going to put it away. And at the end of the school year, we're going to look at it. So reflecting, it helps them see that this goal is important and that you're also in it with them as they try to achieve this goal. And then our last little slide here are these are questions that you can give the kids to help them when they're thinking about this goal. Where do I want to go with this? You know, what is your goal? And it's got to be an obtainable goal. We don't just want to say, I want to lose weight, which we all would like to do that maybe, but we've got to set something that's realistic, excuse me, and attainable. How am I going to get there? This is where we're going to help them look at those little steps that will lead them to this goal. And how am I going to know when I have achieved this goal and I have arrived at this goal? Okay, so there are the whys. This is important in our classroom. Oh, I could have gone another way. I should have done that. All right, next we're just going to do a real quick. So how do we like that the SMART goal, that acronym that helps us. Open this up. And the cool thing about this video that you're about to see, it's very short. We're going to actually watch it, but it's how do I write a SMART goal? And then this is one you can use in your classroom to show the students so that they can, hold on, I want to make this big. Can y'all hear the sound?
No.
You know, we had this problem last video. Remember when I did, and I shared it with let's see, there's the sound, and I popped it out because that helped last time. So we're not hearing it?
Mm-mm. When you shared, are you sharing computer audio?
Yep, I did. Let me go back and look. I'm pretty certain I did share those settings. Where? Okay, more. Sorry. I really sometimes, I'm gonna be honest, I miss Zoom. Device settings, I'm looking. Okay, it says, okay, hold on. It says microphone, speaker, yeah, video. Y'all, you know what, Kaylee, you want to try to share your screen? I'm going to stop and you see if you can show it because for some reason we had this problem with mine last time. Oh, I didn't. There, can you share? Sorry, guys.
Yep,
Don't you
I'm
love
working on it.
technology? There we go.
Okay, I think I shared the wrong screen though.
Oh,
Let's see. You see my Schoology?
good. I do.
Okay,
Now to see if
awesome.
it plays your video.
We'll see.
I know.
No promises, right?
No promises.
If not, we'll all just watch it separately.
We could all do that.
Oops.
Oh, you're muted. I got nothing.
I got nothing as well. All right, let's just
We'll add it in
watch
the
it
chat.
on our own.
Oh,
Yep.
What'd
So
you
if
say?
you are not in the course, we'll go ahead and put the link in the chat.
And
And
you
then
can, yeah.
just go ahead and watch the short video. And then this is, like we said, this is an activity you do with your students. Go ahead and post 2 things that you learned about a SMART goal right here in the comments. Karen, do you want me to stop sharing? You want me to keep going?
You can keep going while because you're next after this little piece anyway, I think, right? I think you're next.
I think so.
I think so. That's frustrating. 'Cause I even made sure it said computer device. I'm gonna check on my puppies real quick. Okay, do you think that's been enough time? So if you, after you've watched this, let's see, I don't, or have it, let me check to see. I haven't hit refresh.
I put a comment in
Oh,
after I watched the
Emily has
It's
put a
just you.
comment.
It's just you.
So if you will put a comment in after you watched that, um, it says 2 things, but let's just go ahead and just do one real fast. One thing you learned about what writing a SMART goal will be like that movie. Anyone? Bueller.
Karen is always about her movie references.
I am. But
well,
Emily's right. They should be smart.
when Brittany just added something that it should be measurable, and I think that's one of the first things
Mhm.
that people don't add.
Right.
That
Realistic.
you don't know, and realistic. A lot of times, I think about, I don't know, I want to start cooking, all vegan, all organic, and like it's not really realistic. So,
Yes, attainable. Yeah, people are putting it in the chat too. They're specific and
mhm.
measurable. Yeah, I think that the measurable part is another one because a lot of times they just say, well, I want to get an A or not, maybe that's not a good example. I don't know. But, like I said, I want to exercise. Well, how am I going to measure that? How am I going to, that's just really not a goal. That's just more of a statement of a wish. I wish I would exercise more. So, right, it's got to be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
Like,
it's what Erica said about persistence to keep track.
mm-hmm.
I know at what I did teaching is I always printed off my goals and I put them on a sheet of paper. And then anytime I did something that I felt like worked towards those goals, I wrote it on a sticky note and just stuck it on that paper. So I could, that's just me personally of like what I did as a teacher. But if you don't keep up with it, you just kind of forget. And then the goal,
Yeah.
the goals are at the beginning of the year and you never address them again.
And that's what I like about the templates we're about to share in just a second. I think Kaylee's going to do that part, but is giving the kids the template which shows them how they can write their steps and those sorts of things so that they can keep track of it. It can be in their daily folder. It can be something that they get out every week and reread and think
Mhm.
about. Yep, I like that. Very good.
Okay. So Kaylee, why don't we keep talking about SMART goals, and why don't you tell us a little bit more?
Okay, but before I do that, I'm going to come
Okay.
back to the main page of our course. And I just want to remind everybody that if you have not signed up for prizes, you
Oh
need to do
yeah,
so because we're going to be closing the form here in about 2 minutes.
that's right. And we're
Okay,
giving
so,
away t-shirts tonight.
right, we're giving away t-shirts.
Adobe t-shirts.
That's right.
So
It looks like we have about 12 people signed up for
great.
t-shirts. So,
And it's in the chat. If you're not in the course, you can click on the link in the chat as well. I'm trying to remember if the form is set for Klein only or all
yeah,
right.
I don't remember. So, I'm in the SMART Goals folder, which is where we just were with the discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to point out we have all these SMART goal templates here for you. I want to show you
Oh.
where you can find them really quick in the curriculum container. So if you like this activity and it's something you want to replicate with your students, I'm going to show you where you can find those templates to use with your students. Also, if you haven't checked out our monthly magazine of The Blend, our January issue has this same activity in a kind of it's not a lesson plan, we like to call them a learning experience information of like how to do this in your classroom.
That link is
So
still not working. That's in there.
right, I did check that before we started for some reason. Not sure who did what, but it all of a sudden
It quit
stopped
working today.
working.
They're
So
working on fixing it. Uh-huh.
that's right. So I'm just going to open a new tab and I'm going to go to Schoology and I'm going to go to our curriculum. So that's a group.
Yes, because we did as backup, put them in here. And actually I'm
Mhm.
going to copy that bit.ly and we'll put it in the chat and you can get to,
Mhm.
what did I do?
Perfect. I just want to show everybody where they are located. So if
Copy,
they wanted to copy them to their courses, they could.
put it in the chat.
And so once I'm in the curriculum, I'm going to click on resources. And I feel like my internet is
There's the bit.ly
slow.
if you want to look at them for tonight. But yeah, the great thing about the curriculum container is Kaylee is getting to this. I'll talk about it, but we've got them in there, so they're so easy for you to add this as a Schoology assignment, so that the kids can complete them in Schoology, and then they've also got them. You can even set that assignment where it's not graded, but they can go back in and look at them and see what they've put in there.
Okay, and then we'll go to teacher, student, and family supports. It's all the way at the bottom. It's the red folder. And then we're classroom resources, the green folder.
And there are so
And
many good
then
things here.
there are
We have
so
that
many
many
great things in here. And so I put this under, of course, goal setting and reflection templates. And so you'll see that there's a lot of things in here about goal setting and reflection, but the Adobe Express templates are right here, Smart Goals in Adobe Express. And I've got everything in here. There's that lesson plan that I was talking about, the learning experience and kind of information. And then that discussion board you guys just did is right here. Um, and then the templates are also in this lesson plan. Okay. So I'll just pull that up real quick.
Okay, so I've seen several people have asked for that goal setting presentation. I thought I had it set to anyone with the link, but I'm gonna go look because can y'all not see that? Could they not see it? I hope that's not the case.
Well, I mean, I could see it, but it's probably because you shared it
Yes,
with me.
but I thought before I started, oh, it wasn't. I'm so sorry, y'all. Y'all need to speak up in the chat. It looks like it was restricted, and I really thought I had changed this. So there we go. You should see it now, what we were talking about. Y'all were so good. Y'all were listening and didn't even say anything. Thank you though
Okay.
for your patience.
All right. And so um, this next page, the directions page, is what you would do with your students. And not sure how much time we have today to actually do this, but this is something you can use with your students is you use one of these templates. It's the same templates that Karen put in the chat. And then I also provided a student example. And so we would use these templates to plan out our goal. And so I'm just going to open the student example. So this is one that I created. It's one of the, and it's from one of the templates. And so the S, I will train my dog Walter to stay. Okay, that's specifically what I want to achieve. And now let's add in the measurable piece. So I will train my dog Walter to stay for at least 30 seconds. Okay,
Mm.
and now we're gonna what do we need to achieve this goal? Well, I'm gonna, by using the command to stay and holding my palm flat, that's how I'm gonna train my dog to stay. And then, is your goal realistic? Well, yes, because I'm gonna use the method that I learned from Zach George's book. And then is it timely? Do I have a time on this? So I added by the end of the month. So I have a time now. So I have that time limit. And so this is just a great example. I liked adding the different colors here to it just so it helps kind of stand out of what part of your goal is the S, what part is the M. And so basically this, by the time you get to the T, that's your entire SMART goal. And so I like to use this as a planning document. And then I'm going to come back over here. And then the next step you would do with your students is to create a graphic that illustrates your goal. And so um, you want to make sure that you include your complete SMART goal. You want a picture that illustrates your goal. You want to name your goals. Okay, so by naming that goal, you can easily remind yourself to work toward that. And I believe in the lesson plan, I had a student exemplar right here. And so this is what that would look like. And so I named that goal by calling it Wise Up Walter. And then here is my goal right here. By the end of the month, I will train my dog Walter to stay. And then I added two other things that I feel are important. And I'm going to come back over here to the directions. Um, that's right here. It's step 3. So think about some questions or statements that you could incorporate at least one of these in your graphic. So why do you want to achieve this goal? Okay, it really adds that student to their goal. It kind of makes it more meaningful. Draw a picture of success or write something you'll say when you reach your goal, such as if I achieve my goal, I will feel proud. Okay. Um, or draw a chart with people that you can talk to help you, or actions you can take to stay on track, or how can you conquer certain obstacles. So that's what I did here in the student exemplar. I said, if I achieve my goal, I'll feel proud that I can teach my dog a new thing. And then, why do I want to achieve this goal? So he won't rush the door when visitors arrive. Okay. And so I just used all of Adobe Express to create this graphic. The dog is not my dog; it's one that I found, and so I think that's something that the kids can kind of just. It doesn't have to be completely perfect, and it doesn't actually have to be a picture of their dog, as long as it's a picture of their dog or of a dog. Um,
And the kids have so much fun with those graphics in Adobe.
they do. And then step 4 would be to publish your goal to the media album. So we want to make sure that we're sharing out our goal and that we're talking about it. I love the media album because they can leave comments on there, and it's a great way for the teacher to be able to view every student's goal kind of at the same time because it puts them in those tiles. And so really quick, what I'd like to show you is Adobe Express and how they would create their goal graphic. And so I love just clicking on the plus button right up here and doing a custom size graphic. Now, with something that Emily's going to talk about later, she's going to talk about maybe changing or adding your goal graphic into a video. And so, if
Mm,
that's something you want to do, then you might want to just click on standard and do a widescreen graphic because it fits in the
Mhm.
background of that video so
mhm.
perfectly. Um, so, I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click next. And so I normally just exit out of the templates because sometimes it's not something I really want. But what I love doing is just going to the layout and changing it into a grid. And what is
Mhm.
also really great is then I can kind of move my grid and I can
Oh,
change
mhm,
out these colors. So if I don't like that kind of yellowy
Mhm.
color, I could do purple here. And then text is super easy. I just click on the text button. Oops. Click add text. And then I add my text in this little text box over here on the right. And they have the ability to add, to pick from all these different great fonts. Um,
mhm.
uh, one of my favorites is this Snicker Bold, or even where's my Peachy Keen? I
Peachy
love
Keen, Jelly
Peachy Keen.
Bean.
It's one of my favorites. I think it's so cute. I don't know what it is about it. And they can just kind of move it around like this.
They can add shadows, they can
That's
do
right.
outlines, they can
Oh,
do lots
yeah.
of
They could do
things.
all
Haley,
kinds of different
will
things.
you show how to remove the background on a photo? Because I did see a
Yes.
classroom where the students used their Chromebooks to they just took a selfie with the camera and then they were able to upload it into a goal. And yes, all students in Klein have access to Adobe Express. They just need to go in through the dashboard.
Yes,
That's
they
correct.
all do. Teachers and students all have access.
Mhm.
That's
And
correct.
to
So
the
over
paid
here,
version. I mean, it's not the free version. It's they
yeah.
they have everything.
Yeah. We have the whole kit and caboodle.
And we have
So
webinars on Adobe Express on all, we have other webinars and resources that we can share as well.
Mm,
that's right. So over here on the left-hand side, we're going to click on photos. And you can upload a photo that you have on your computer. So, in the case that Emily just talked about with students using their selfie, they would click on that upload photo and grab it from their
Mhm.
downloads. But I'm just going to search like I did before for a dog.
And what's great is that it's a pretty safe search. So these are
It
all
is.
oh yeah.
we've not seen inappropriate photos that this is the Adobe stock photos. This is not Google photos.
Yeah. Oh my God, this one's so cute. I'm trying to find
Oh,
one
get
with a
one with a
background though.
background though.
Yeah, let me get one. Um, let's do, oh
See.
my God,
That one
let's
is
do
good with
this
the
one.
dog.
Yeah. So once you added it, I just like to exit out of that because I can see the
I
whole
love my
graphic.
space.
Yes,
Mhm.
I love my space. So I click on that photo and then I click right here. It says remove background.
So
So
Adobe's
Kristen
web-based, and
Hall,
so you actually
yeah,
access it through the internet. You would just
yeah.
all teachers and students just go in through the dashboard. So you do have access to Adobe
Mm-hmm.
on your personal and work computers.
Yeah, so I just
Right.
clicked remove background and it removed the background. And what I do is if there
Oh,
was
how
some sort
cool.
of mistake, I can erase some things or I can restore it or I can invert the
Mm-hmm.
cutout. But I'm going to go ahead and just click done. And then something else that I would like to show you. I had this little issue today. It just took me a little while to click the done button for it
Yeah.
to accept it. There we go. And so if I click back on this picture, another thing that I like to do is maybe I don't want this little girl. Maybe I just want the dog. I can crop and shape. And so I like to do the free
Mm-hmm.
form. And so then I can just crop her out and I can keep the dog. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I can also do shapes too if I wanted to. And then you just again click the check mark. There's my dog, and I can make him a little bit bigger. I can move him over here in
Oh.
the purple so he stands out. Um, So that is
Yes.
something that you can do. Also, I love to add shapes. Um, the way that I got the circle on the Wise Up one is I added text. So I'm going to just click on this text right here. And in effects, there's a shape. And so I'm just going to toggle that on. Okay. And then I'm going to click right here where it says shape. And I did one of the circles. I can't tell which one. I think it was this one. It is that one. And so it just puts it into a circle and it will
And you can color that.
change the size. Yeah, I can color that. So if I don't want the yellow, I can
Mhm.
do a different color. So
This
that
really
is a
allows for
little bit.
personalization for students, and the more
It
fun they have, the
does.
more likely they're going to, you know, make that connection
Mhm.
and with their goal, want to go
Mhm.
back and look at it.
And it's something that they will show their parents. They'll be so excited about doing it that they'll show their parents, which again just adds another layer of support and help for students to achieve their goals. So that's just a little bit about using Adobe Express to create your graphic. Oh, so one more thing about publishing to the media album, and then I'm going to let Emily take over, is once their graphic is done, they will download it. And I personally like to download as a PNG.
Oh, yes.
And
Always as a
then they
PNG.
click start download. Okay. All right, Emily, I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to let you take over.
Sure. Okay, let me start sharing and share screen. Okay. All right. Are y'all seeing my screen?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect. So once your students have created their goals, and a few of you asked, I'm in the dashboard. Here it is, Adobe Express. And notice I have it actually at the bottom here because I right clicked and I set it to favorites because I go here all the time. And once your students have created their graphics, for their goals, they're going to want to share that with each other, with you. They're going to want to refine and revise their goals. So I'm going to show you some ways that they can do that. The first way I have is a Jamboard. And so I have just put this on a page so that I could write instructions for my students. They would know exactly what to do. And what I would do in this case is notice on Jamboard, you can have multiple pages. And so I just created the pages for my students and I would give them the instructions that they would pick a page. I know in my class, my students were assigned numbers, so they knew each of them had a number. I might say that they would go to the page that is their number just to make sure no one wrote on each other's pages or uploaded the photo. But then what's cool about Jamboard is that they would be able to write comments that are supportive and productive. So for example, this one, I made a goal for myself of to make exercise part of my weekly routine. And I was going to use my tonal, that we have a new tonal and a treadmill. And so maybe they might leave a comment that says, I love running. Let's run together. And so they might be able to write supportive comments to each other using Jamboard. Just so you're aware, with Jamboard, students can erase each other's comments. They can make changes. And so it's just something to be aware with the features of Jamboard if you're using it in your classroom. But I do like that students are able to upload their images from their computer or from their Google Drive if they have it saved there. So this is one way they can share. Another way they can share is through a Nearpod Collaborate board, which is one of my favorite Nearpod tools. They do sign in just with their client account. I have this Nearpod embedded into Schoology. And so students are able to upload an image, but I love that they can like and comment. They can click on the images to make them a little bit bigger. And so I added instructions here that to share the SMART goal with the class by uploading a picture to this Nearpod Collaborate board. But once they've uploaded the goal, look through your classmates' goals and write 3 or more supportive comments to encourage your classmates. I don't think I would have them write necessarily constructive comments publicly. I might have them meet in pairs to kind of talk about those constructive comments, maybe write them in a personal journal or goal setting sheet. I would not have them maybe write it publicly because I wouldn't want to embarrass any student, but they can't, but I love writing positive comments to each other on the Nearpod Collaborate board. The other way is what Kaylee had, using a media album in Schoology. So I just pulled her goal here, and I do love that when they click on the media, they can add media. They can write comments to each other here that are supportive as well, and they can flip through. This is also something, a way that they can share with families their classmates' goals. Notice that there are two types of goals here. So we had the original SMART goal. This is the same template that Kaylee had used earlier. But then we also have the goals that have been kind of written out and more elaborate. If I want to continue this, another thing that you could do is you could have a discussion board. And what I have here is I actually have a video that will show you how to take your graphics to the next level by turning them into videos. And so I'm going to show you that really quickly. I have my graphic here that not here, it was maybe this one. Let's see. Oh no, this is the video, but I have my graphic downloaded. And what you would do is when you go into Adobe Express, I'm going to show you how quick this really is. All you're going to do is, I have that graphic on my computer. I'm going to click the plus button, and then I'm going to go ahead and select video. And when you open a new video in Adobe Express, the first thing you do is you give it a title. You're going to want to be specific. So I'm going to put my reading goal. If I have more than one goal, you wouldn't just want to put my goal because I want to be specific. After giving it a title, you do see some templates that when you have time, I think they're great to go through. But for now, I'm going to start from scratch. And once I start from scratch, in order to upload my photo to my video, once this loads, it's very quick. All I do is click photo right here, and then I can upload my photo, and I believe I have it saved in pictures. And notice it can take up the whole screen. There are different layouts students can choose from, but because I made this widescreen, as Kaylee showed earlier, it does take up the whole screen. I don't need any credits, so I'm going to go ahead and hide the credits so that the only slide I have is my goal. And when I'm ready to record, I can just hold down on the record button right here, and I can record for 30 seconds. So this allows students to elaborate a little bit more on what was written. So I'm going to go ahead and record something. So my goal is to make reading part of my weekly routine by reading a book for 20 minutes before bed 4 times a week during the month of February and March. This is going to be a really important goal for me because I'm working on my ELA grade, and I know that I need to improve vocabulary and writing skills. I have a special notebook that I'm going to use to log when I read, and I hope that I'm successful. So wish me the best of luck. So now that this is the, oh, yes?
No, I was just going to say, and Emily, I was going to remind him too that if they need to say more, they can add more pages.
Oh, absolutely. And so they could add, you can actually click the little dots on the side and click duplicate if I want to add a second page. It's a great point to point out. And I can then preview the video. Students are going to have 2 options to share. One option is going to be the longer option, which is to download the video, and it starts downloading. I'm going to go ahead and press cancel because I want to actually show you a different way. They can go ahead and also press share, and then they're going to publish, and this is going to give them a link. So I have the same title here that I had given the video initially. I have the author, a subtitle if you'd like.
And I actually like to toggle off the author, especially with students, because it's going to say their first and last name. So I like to toggle that off for my students.
And if they're posting it in a discussion board, they'll know who posted the link because they're the ones posting it. But they do have that option because if the link is if they post it online, so students, if they posted it on Twitter, it would have their name. So they can toggle that off. They go ahead and create the link. And I've actually already done this. It takes about a minute. I can copy it now, but if I head back into Schoology, I showed you both ways here. And so I just pasted the link in, and then I made it into a hyperlink here. Or I added a file, which does take a few minutes to process, but then students can play the video right in Schoology. It should pop up.
I just love this as a way to share goals so that it keeps everyone accountable in the classroom. The kids can help each other and work together, but I love that.
I love that they can really revise and refine. And I like to have them use the SMART framework. So that's specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely, kind of as a rubric to provide feedback that they can just kind of write out SMART. And I maybe would have them post in a discussion board, but then have them meet in pairs, have them watch the video together, and then talk about, okay, at what moment was it specific? At what moment, what made it measurable? What made it attainable? Why is it relevant to their lives? I mean, if the goal, you want them to want to achieve that goal. Is it really relevant or not? And then is it timely or not? Is this going to be done in 1 year, or is it going to be done in 5 years? That's not really timely. So I love that they can provide that feedback to each other. And then, of course, as we mentioned earlier, you're going to want to go back and reference these later, that it's not just posted on the discussion board and never reference it again. So the last way that you can kind of take these to the next level is, I'm going to get back to this folder, and I love this idea that Adobe also allows you to create web pages. So you've seen the graphic today, you have seen the video that I quickly showed you, how quick it was to make it. And now I'm going to show you web pages. And so it's not a website, it's just one web page, but you can add graphics, you can embed videos, you can add text, you can add external links, all within this Adobe web page. And so here is an example of a SMART goal, teaching my dog to stay, which is so cute, that you can add images to. I love that this student specifically they wrote out each part of the SMART goal as they built their goal. They wrote why they wanted to achieve it. And so this helps students really dive deeper into their goal and reflect. They can even go back and edit this and say, was that goal attained? They gave their goal a name, which I absolutely love. Wise Up Walter. Super, super cute. And I love, you can send appreciate, and then it actually sends the student a little message that they are appreciated, that you like their webpage. So this is a really cute way for students to kind of take it to the next level, and they can actually share these web pages with each other. And we do have it. This is from Adobe.
And Emily, I will say that this is a great activity to enforce typing. Those
Mhm.
typing skills that kids need,
Yes.
especially right now as we are entering testing season.
Right, and we know STAR and TELPAS for second and up is all online, and so we do want to support our students with their typing skills. Those extended responses are coming, and so for all students, it's definitely a great skill to work on. But we do have we have a whole lesson plan here. It is provided by Adobe that you can reference with the student samples, some videos, and that is another way that you can do it. I know it's 8:30 already, and so let me just tell you that everything you've seen now, you can actually, even if you don't win a prize tonight, we do have a SMART Goal Challenge. It's on the last page of the Blend magazine, and so we invite you this month to actually create a graphic with your students, and you can submit either one of your students' graphics, or you can submit your own graphic if you create your own SMART goal that you can make with Adobe. So if you accept the challenge, it's on the last page of the Blend, and it does, you do submit the link to the published link to the Adobe Express goal graphic here. And so we do have a prize. It is an Adobe, didn't mean to turn the pages. It is an Adobe swag bag. We have some more information on goal setting here. And I believe this is our webinar that we're in right now.
Yes.
And if you've not read The Blend, it's a great little magazine that we actually put together and put the articles and things in there, with lots
Yeah.
of things that you can explore and do with your students.
Yeah, and we actually
Yeah.
do post the blend monthly. And so if you haven't seen our magazine, we do have it on our site. So kisd.us DigiLearn, and we have all of the previous months. They're loading as there's several of
Because
them. We
they take a lot of space.
started them in August. And so it's a great place to find resources, upcoming professional development, fun ideas for your classroom. All right.
And I will
So,
say, if you need any help in doing this goal setting activity with your students, we would love to help you. Even if you are on a campus with a digital learning specialist, your digital learning specialist would love to help you, or we would love to come over and assist with that as well.